Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to announce I have Miss Dee Tutt. She is the founder of Savile, okay, which is a taste of the islands, loosely translated. And Savile is a ready to drink cocktail. And for those of you not in the liquor industry, ready to drink cocktails are one of the fastest growing segments. And what I love about this is it is a premium beverage as well. So it uses the highest quality rum from Brazil. It is vegan friendly, gluten free, no artificial color or no artificial flavors, preservatives. It's all natural. And as somebody who's not normally a rum drinker, it's quite tasty. Good size can too. And what's also beautiful about it is you just crack it open, pour it on ice, or you can just drink it from the can. So, Dee, thank you for your time. Oh, and one more thing that I really love about Dee's story is she does not come from the liquor industry. Dee has a background in hair, which is not what I have. So she went from the hair industry making rum cocktails for family and friends, and she started her own business. So, Dee, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. And how are you?
I'm good, and thank you, Kurt, for having me. I really appreciate you giving me this space on your podcast, YouTube channel, and to tell my story about how I got started with this brand.
Awesome, awesome. And so I know that you've been doing rum cocktails for family and friends for years, according to your bio. But what was it that like led that went from making this for family and friends to like, you know what? I'm going to make a business out of this. What was like the turning point?
Well, okay, so this is a long story, so I guess I'm going to age myself here a little bit. Uh, 30 years in my kitchen, I created this rum cocktail from just listening to friends and family and the influence of the Caribbean islands. So over 30 years, I tweaked the recipe, and this was always a favorite for one of my parties. People always look forward to coming to my home and having what type of cocktail are we having today, because they know I like to fool around. I won't say I'm a certified mixologist, but I like to play around with cocktails. And so this
You're
was
a
the
certified
favorite.
business owner.
Yes. And so I play around with the recipe and listen to the subtle comments that people would make about, oh, it's too sweet, or it's too strong, or it's too this and too that. And so I would tweak it for the next time I go to the Caribbean islands, sit with the bartenders. That's my favorite place to vacation, is the Caribbean. And sit with the bartenders, see what they were putting in their rum cocktails, because as you know, one knows, when you go to the islands, the Caribbean islands, rum is a big favorite there. So I would sit with the bartenders and uh, glean from what they were doing, come back, test it out at the next party, and listen to the oohs and ahs. And so this went on for 30 years. And then people, after 30 years of making this in my kitchen, people kept asking me, can you make this for my event, or, reception or party, or, whatever the case may be. So I would just make it in, gallon jugs from in my kitchen. I make it for them. And, and then they kept encouraging me, you need to put this on the market. You need to put this on the market. And so at first I was very apprehensive about putting it on the market, because, um, I knew this was a drink that maybe younger people would gravitate towards, and just wasn't interested in putting a alcohol brand on the market. But after consulting with my family, and they were my biggest encouragers, they said, Mom, and my husband, they would say, you just got to do it. Just take that leap of faith and do it. And, and everything else will fall into place. So I did. I took that leap of faith. And what I thought was the means to launch an alcohol brand was not nearly enough of what I currently had in my bank account. And so this is not a venture that you can take lightly. Like you said, I wasn't from the alcohol industry. The only thing I knew about alcohol was, consuming and having a good time. But over the years, I learned the business and the ins and out. And as you know, it's a male dominant business, and especially back in when we first launched in 2015, 2014 area. um, they didn't see many women in this industry. And so I was never taken serious. As I don't know if you've read from my bio, but I lived in Illinois at the time. And, the network of men there, they would see me come in and think it was like, oh, here today, gone tomorrow. But they weren't in agreement with what I put in, used as ingredients for my brand. My brand, as you had mentioned earlier, is an all natural, gluten free, vegan brand, and so it's a little costly to make because I'm using premium products. Premium ingredients to comprise the refreshing taste that it has. And they said to me, well, you know what, just put some artificial flavors in there. No one cares about, gluten and vegan. And, so I beg to differ. And I was not going to compromise the integrity of my brand. So, um, unfortunately, my mom, and I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, California. And my mom lived here in California, but she became ill, and I was back and forth to California. And so, it just said well with me. It's like, what, bring your brand back home. So back home, to here to California. California resonates more with the islands, since that's what my drink is based on. It's a taste of the islands. It's paradise in a can.
And
So
healthy
yeah,
eating.
I'm sorry.
And healthy eating too.
Yes, yes, yes. And people do care about gluten free and vegan and all that. But that's, slowly growing across the nation as well. And so this is when I decided that, let's just bring the brand here and launch it here. And so this is where we're at right here in California. And we're trying to gain distribution across the nation.
Wow. Okay. Okay. And so, how did you get funding? Because I know the average to start a liquor brand is about 500,000, but I know that you can do it with a lot less. For example, the founder of Yave Tequila, he's in New York. He founded it with $20,000, but
Wow.
he did everything himself. He did everything himself, all the research, and So, do you mind me asking? I don't know
No,
if
no,
you
no,
want to
no,
answer
not at
this.
all.
What it cost for you to launch it, and how did you get funding?
Well, in the beginning, we felt like I had a partner, but they kind of backed down. But I've always had my family with me by my side through this venture, and we felt like maybe 300,000 from consultants. 300,000 would be enough to launch a liquor brand, and there were a lot of trial and errors in that, because you trust people to do the things that they say they're going to do, that you need to actually help um, launch a brand. And our first ordeal was finding a flavor house, taking that kitchen recipe and turning it into a commercial recipe. And so the first flavor house that I trusted to do this, every sample that came back tastes like, I can't even tell you what it tastes like, but it was not refreshing. It didn't mimic my kitchen recipe at all. But then I found a great flavor house out of Kentucky, and it took a while to just. I wasn't gonna just throw something out there, so it took a while for them to actually um, get my kitchen recipe to taste at least 89 to 93% like my kitchen recipe. And I so that was very costly. And then it took a year of government regulations. Then we, tried to find a beverage consultant who will take on the product and help us get into retailers, get distribution. Um, that was a costly mistake, because like you say, you don't know everyone's integrity. And then I just had to get out there and hit the ground running myself and do everything myself, and with the help, in the background with my husband and children. So I would say, all in all, it's going to take more than 500,000 to launch a brand, to get the marketing, and to get in the retailers and with the distributors. And then, at first when we launched, we didn't have a distributor, so I had to self distribute, because California allows you to self distribute as long as you have it in a
Oh,
bonded warehouse. And
oh,
now we have a distributor who's great. And so we're back on the market. We sold out in 2018, and then we had to go back and raise funds. And that's when we got an angel investor, a good friend of ours, and a couple good friends of ours who believed in the brand, and they put in monies to keep us going, to allow us to do another production. When we first launched, we launched in a liter size bottle, which was the wrong packaging for this type of brand. And now
mm,
we listened to consumer feedback, and then we relaunched in 2020 in single serve cans. We changed our name from Savile Premium Rum Teeny. It was previously called that. Now it was too much confusion, so we call it, now its name, Savile Tropical Rum Cocktail. Exactly what it is, no confusion there. We also listened to our consumers, to hear that they said, well, sometimes I need to add a little extra just to, you know, get me where I want to be. And so we listened to consumers. So we raised our alcohol content to 15%. So I don't know, Kurt, if you drink the whole can or not, but I'm sure you felt that 15% in there. So, this is where we are now, and we're just trying to, still get the brand out there and get brand awareness. So when I say, at least try to go and get funding first if you're going to launch an alcohol business.
so what would you say to anybody out there? Let's say I wanted to start my own competition to Seville.
Hmm.
I'm joking, but let's say I want to start my own. We'll call it non-Seville. If I wanted to launch, no, but let's say I wanted to launch my own liquor brand. Let's just say it's a tequila. And for anybody out there watching, how would you tell them or instruct them to go out and find investors? Like, do you just go Google angel investors or capital venturists, or because some people may not have friends who or know people. So what would you recommend they do?
Well, to find an angel investor, you just go to your family and friends first. And there are lots of angel investors out there that you don't know. That if they like your story, they believe in your brand, they will invest in your brand. Um, so they are
Everybody
angel
loves a
that
great story.
well, yes. Let them know that. And
Yeah.
so, but I don't know if you know the disparity of women-owned business. Just to be frank, Caucasian men who have a business idea, they could write something down on a napkin and pass it to another friend who has the means and say, I have this idea. They get money. They raise millions of dollars. Women, on the other hand, we have to turn flips to get, $100,000. Trying to raise $1 million is a very difficult task, and especially for Black women. So we're still at that bottom of the totem pole, but people are now starting to recognize that women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, are the businesses to invest in as well. As long as you have a good product, we need to take color out of it and sex out of it. And if it's a good brand and you believe in it, why not take the chance and invest in a woman-owned business?
Yeah, yeah. And then so how did because here you are, you're making cocktails for friends, and then you said, okay, I'm going to jump into this. What did you do? Did you just start Googling how to start a liquor brand, or how did you go from not doing this to, okay, I'm in it? Like, can you give everybody just a few of the steps you followed just to get yourself started, and when you were completely new to the liquor world?
Sure, sure. So first thing is, yes, you do your research. You have to research, research, research. And I have a good team of people who are very good at researching. That's not my forte, but I am the creative person. I'm the as you say, quote unquote, mixologist type of person, and but still business minded after having a beauty salon for many years. So you have to do your research on what you need to do and how you. And I went to many alcohol conventions and beverage conventions to learn the industry as well. And then you surround yourself with people who are in that industry. There were some great guys out of Illinois, that another group of guys, great guys in Illinois that wanted to see me succeed, in the industry. And they just took on and just, they had over 100 years of experience in the alcohol industry, just between the three of them. And they just took me on, and just like like I said, introduced me to their network. um, but just try to find someone or some people who are in the industry where you want to end up in, and research it. Learn from them if they even like what they're doing. But I would have to say is, about when you're launching a business, period, do something you're passionate about. Because when you're passionate about it, you don't give up as easily. I mean, because I could have thrown in the towel so many times, because this is a really really tough industry, because you can see all the different brands out there. And then all the Diageos and the Brown Foreman brands, they have billions of dollars behind them for marketing to get. I mean, the brand could not even taste that good, but if you put that marketing behind that brand, they people will gravitate and purchase that brand.
Oh,
So
I know. I can think of some brands. I can think of a Pinot Grigio that's real popular, and I'm why? I won't mention names though.
no, we won't name names, but just so find you a mentor in the industry that you want to go into. And then um if you can have the funds, have you got to they want to see that you have skin in the game. So you have to have something. You can't go out there with $200, or maybe you can't. I'm not saying for everyone, but you can't really go out to there with $200 and expect to launch a brand that's going to cost you maybe $1 million to launch. So have some skin in the game, but most of all, do your research. Make sure this is for you. And like I said, I could have quit many times, but each time, because I went out there on faith on my brand, I always ask for a word from up above, that God, just give me a sign, give me a signal. And I tell you, it never fails. He gives me a signal to say, keep going, keep going. It's you'll make it there one day.
Well, that's where the passion comes from. Because if you don't have the passion, I don't think you're gonna. I don't think anybody's gonna stick with it, God or no God. That's that because I love that point you said about passion, because passion is what will allow you to work 16 hours a day if you have to get your
Absolutely.
thing going.
Right.
Passion is what will make you fight if everything's working against you. Passion is what will just keep you motivated. And
Absolutely.
so that to me is the most important. And I've seen some articles where I saw somebody say, well, don't follow your passion, because they're saying that, well, maybe your passion is not right for you and this and that. But I think sometimes people take it too literal. Like I play guitar, and I love to uh, be in a rock band on tour, but it's not that I don't think it's possible. I just know it's not for me. And I had a friend who played guitar, and he had a wife and a new baby, and he wanted to go on tour. And he's like, "Oh, this is my passion." I'm like, "Yeah, but you just created this little thing running around. You got to
That's
take care of
right.
it." So that's
You
where
have
I
to
would
pay the
say, okay,
bills.
don't follow your passion if you got other responsibilities. But at any rate, yeah, and then, and it's great you have the support from the family, because sometimes if somebody wants to do something grand, like launch a business, liquor business, restaurant, whatever, sometimes those closest to you, to that person, may try to dissuade them, not out of any ill will, but just out of love because they don't want to see them fail. But the thing is, ideas are most vulnerable in their infancy. So if you have an idea that you want to flourish or blossom, well, if the those closest to you are aware of that, then they may try to dissuade you. Like I said, not out of anything bad, but just to protect you. But then the problem is you're expending all your energy defending the idea when you should be spending that energy on growing it. And that's why
Absolutely.
I would even advise, depending on the situation, don't tell your significant other until maybe you have a little traction. So I guess that you're lucky. You have a very supportive family behind you, and that's
Right.
a beautiful thing. But that isn't always the case. And again, it's not because of some coming from a bad place. It's just to protect that person. So yeah,
Right.
that's why I
And
go for the maybe it's better not to tell something. I don't know.
well, you know what? I would have been hard for me to not tell my husband because my husband is still in Chicago area. He has
Oh,
his own business, and I'm in California. So, it's a commuter marriage. And so, he comes
mm,
out here, spends time. I go back to Chicago. So we have to be in support of one another so we can do what we feel like we're called to do in life, and not step on each other's dreams. So this is my dream to launch this brand, to keep it going. I want it. I want people to taste it, love it, and purchase it all around the globe. And I can't do that from a place. I could not do that from a place where they weren't accepting to the ideal of my brand, or what's my brand is comprised of. I think more today they would be more receptive to, because a lot of when I first came up with this, people did not really, you didn't see a lot of brands on the market that had no artificial ingredients or vegan or not gluten free. People were not in tune to that. Maybe in California, yes, but not in other parts of the country. And so I think we were very innovative when we knew we wanted to have a clean label, and stick with those terms of having a clean label. And thank God that now, you know, across this nation, people are looking at ingredients to see what they're consuming.
people are waking
So we're
up. Of
fortunate.
course, then the argument against not telling your significant other is like, honey, there's a $50,000 withdrawal in our account. Yeah, I had some vodka made. So so
Yes,
no, I wasn't
absolutely.
advocating not telling. I was just trying to look at it from both sides of the coin. That yeah, it's kind of like depending on who your support system is, but you were great that you have that support system, and that's
Yes,
fantastic.
absolutely.
Um,
Yes. And
before
also to have my children, helping me out with this, and they do what they can. They both have their full-time jobs and families and everything. Well, my daughter has a family, but my son, he's not there yet. But they have their lives there, but they, if mom needs some, or if they, they're right there, helping out. Actually, my daughter just left here. We did a photo shoot for our social media, and which I would love your followers to actually follow us on our social media,
I'd be
and
happy to.
check out our website as well.
No, I'd be happy to. The what would you say? Can you give us two of the hardest lessons you've learned and two of your biggest successes? Well, one of them's obvious. You're a female in a male dominated, should I go as far as say backward thinking industry? And you've basically made your footprint. But yeah, can you give us like two of your hardest lessons, two of your best successes?
Okay, the first one that we were met head on is trusting. There's a lot of people out there who's they only care about making a quick dollar, and that lesson was learned, that trusting someone who was actually recommended um, to take our brand on, and launch us in a state like California, who said they had the know-how. So do your research on the people that you are trusting your money, your hard-earned money to. The second was that you make a great drink, but if people don't know about it, it just sits on the shelves. So you have to be willing to get out there, do the work to make sure that people know about your brand, whether you're on a big budget or small budget. I had to hit the ground running. Successes to me at this point is that when people see me at events and I have a booth set up or something, we're usually the longest line of
Oh,
repeaters. People
nice.
come back and they want to know the story. How did you get started with this? What the questions that you're asking, and they very complimenting of wow, I can't believe this came out of a can. That right there encourages you to keep going. And I guess the second would be that I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still fighting. And I'm appreciative of people like you who noticed me on what's the platform we met on?
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse. Yes, Clubhouse. And
I
you
haven't been
just
on there in
followed
about three
through.
months.
I haven't either. Um, so, I
Too
mean,
much
that
social media to keep up with.
yeah, it's too much. So people like you who see something, you see a story, and I mean, I don't talk to you often, Kurt, but you just don't know how I appreciate you keeping in touch with me, giving me ideas,
Thank you.
and wanting to see me be successful. So, with that being
I
said,
love I I love a good story.
yeah, yes, yeah, but you're just a good person with a good heart. So,
Right.
um, and I appreciate that. So those are the things that keep me going. Those are the two benefits of where I am right now, and that we owe. And then I have to add one more in there. Even though when we were on the market in 2015, we also we took a couple years off to raise the funds and do repackaging. My Some of my old retailers picked us back up because they really believed in the brand, but also we just really got into Total Wines and More. I don't know if you're familiar with
Oh,
that,
congrats.
but
Yeah,
that
we,
is,
we we do demos in there all the time.
yeah, so that's one of our a great retailer to work with. They're sampling our brand right now. They want to keep it on the shelves, but they're trying to see if people, will actually buy the brand. We're doing pretty good so far. We're in 5 stores here in California with hopes of getting into all 23 stores, and hopefully they will actually take us on across the nation. Um,
Nice.
so that is a big win for us. And then, of
Congrats. Yeah, that's
course,
fantastic.
yeah, well, I guess I have many because then we just this weekend we got a acknowledgement that we did win an award for we won the silver, and I'm very that's just a grand opportunity to be award winning cocktail
Yes.
from
And the
the Proof
proof
Awards.
awards.
Yes, from Food and
Yes.
Beverage magazine. So we're elated about that. So I guess I have many good stories or things that keep me going with this in this business.
So, well, congrats on the award. I was actually saying that for the end because I saw the press release. So, but that's awesome. And now you talked about getting into stores and getting noticed. Here you are, a small brand. Nobody knows who you are, and you said you just hit the ground running. So, did you just like hit the pavement and say, "Hey, I've got this rum. Do you want to try it?" And then do you want to carry it in your stores? And then did you do like a lot of people where you did the tastings in the store yourself or
Well, unfortunately, here in California, you need a special license to do in-store tasting of alcohol brands. Not many
my
stores,
favorite liquor laws?
yeah, they're different in every state. And so we cannot a taste, because if you taste the product, most likely, like we would say, 2 out of 5 customers would purchase, and it's gotten a little higher now. But if you taste the product, you'll buy the product. But just to go by, oh, I'm saying that it's a great taste. You know, retailers were not likely to take you in. They just weren't, because they said it will sit on their shelves. So um, when I said hit the ground running, I had to go out and convince retailers from San Diego to the Bay Area to carry the brand, um, just on their liking the brand and our social media following. So I like to say that it was still, even though it's hard work, it's rewarding when you get those orders that from the mom and pop stores that want reordering. So, but and then again, sometimes there were, not good because people didn't know about the brand. So yeah, so I had to, do my research, get the library of, a library card, and do the research on, the mom and pop retailers that we wanted to be in, because our brand is not your average; it's a premium brand. We wanted to be in the nicer retailers, and yeah, so research again.
So if you can't do tastings, how did you win over the retailers? Did you like give them a 6 pack and say, here, try it at your leisure, and then if you want us in your store, or
A lot of the times, yes, you have to give away a lot of product, and then that's
that's what I
another
thought.
thing.
Okay.
When you first launch a brand, you have to give away a lot of your product
Hmm.
because you want people to taste it. So I did all kind of events. So I did festivals, beverage, alcohol events, conventions. So I mean, a lot of product is given away. Uh, you don't see a profit. You do not see a profit in those years than when you're
Right.
first launching a brand. Still, there's no profit right now. Right now, they're still getting the brand out there. So you just get out there and you get people to taste it. You get people to try to talk about it, and word of mouth, which is good, but it's not uh, a large scale of advertising your brand. But we'll be there one day. And social media. So that's what we're heavily reliant on right now, is our social media to get the brand out there.
I think that's what Tesla, the auto manufacturer, because they don't do commercials on TV like Ford or Chevy. Somebody told me that they just went right to consumers on social media.
Oh, really? I didn't know that
Yeah,
story. But yes,
and
that's where we're at right now. And so, like Savile right now, although it's based here in California, it can be shipped all across the nation through our website at SavileCocktails.com.
oh, your social media. Did you hire a firm to do that, or you guys just doing that in house, or?
No, we actually hired a social media specialist who does our social media, and that's an expense as well. Can't do everything, but
Yeah,
yes, we do
I
have.
know because I do
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, and our social media handle is at Drink Savile. So, if would you like me to spell it for your followers? Savile.
I'll put it on the when I edit the video. I'll put it on there.
Oh, great, great.
Yeah, I'll put it up, and then yeah, for everybody watching, their website is SavileCocktails.com, and yes, and is there anything that you wanted to add that we didn't cover? I want to make sure you get to say whatever message you wanted to get out there.
So this is a Savile tropical rum cocktail. It's simple. You just open the can, pour it over ice, and you have the perfect cocktail every time. You can also mix other spirits. I don't know if you could see over here. I have other spirits over here that you can add a shot of Savile to and create another exotic cocktail. So it's we have a prosecco or a champagne. You can eliminate the orange juice and use Savile, half and half, 2 cubes of ice. We have a tequila here. A shot of tequila. Men usually like it that way. A little shot of tequila in there, take you to another level. And then we also have a liqueur. Put a shot with that. Now, this is for your followers who like to really, feel their alcohol because, like I said, this is 15%. So if you add a shot of that to it, we don't know what the percentage is. Do it at your own risk. But you can visit our website at savilecocktails.com and see other recipes that we have that you can use for Savile. And it's great for holiday. People think of our drink as a summer drink. It's an all year round drink. So you can, if it's snowing outside, you can feel like you're in the Caribbean, lying uh, on a beach and basing in the sand, in the hot sun on the sand. So
Yeah, just crank up the heat in the house.
yeah,
And and for anybody watching, or if you're listening and not watching, the older I get, the less sweet I like. And like, I don't like sweet with alcohol, but the fruit in this, it's a natural fruit taste. It's not, like I said, it's not artificial. It has a nice clean taste to it. And again, it's not sweet like a lot of these artificial flavors that just are not good. It's got a natural fruit flavor. So I think, yeah. And like I said, I was never really a rum fan, but it's a mixed cocktail. You can't really, I mean, you feel the alcohol, but you don't, I don't, it tastes like a tropical fruit punch. Tasty.
oh, great, great.
And so, okay.
Thank you, Kurt.
Uh, Dee, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I love your story, and I'm rooting for Savile. I've got some here, and thank you for that.
Thank
And
you. Thank you for having me.